Dexter New Blood episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you are caught up to the point where I am rewatching or watching Dexter or Dexter New Blood, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And if you want to check out my original review of this episode of Dexter New Blood with about 20 seconds left to go in this video in the end screen, click right here. You'll be able to catch my original review as my opinion has changed when the show was first airing. This will be Dexter New Blood episode 6. The title of this episode is called Too Many Tuna Sandwiches. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start off with Harrison chomping wood and feeding the goats. Kind of the things that Dexter was doing in the first episode of Dexter New Blood. I think it was the first episode. Ghost Deb thinks it's a good thing what Dexter's doing. Harrison needs Dexter to sign his application for the truck stop. Dexter won't sign the application. He has a bad feeling about Kurt Caldwell. Harrison tells him that he didn't go to the therapy session and that he's taking the fucking job. Kurt's prepping the body of Chloe. Angela pulls Dexter over again. License and registration, please. Yes, mistress, Dexter says. He reaches in the glove box and Angela says, not that one. She says the one for Dexter Morgan. Oh, shit. As she shows him the printout of the obituary that she found. Dexter doesn't say anything, and Angela tells him to drive directly to the station. That's not necessarily the best idea. I would handcuff him and put him in the back of the car with that information. Dexter arrives at the station, and Sergeant Logan tells him he's got a Spotify breakup playlist for later. Dexter goes into Angela's office. He tells Angela, technically, faking your death isn't a crime. Angela says that it's not about what it's about. You've been lying to me since the first day we met. Dexter says he was running from death. All the killing, his wife Rita, Harrison's mother, and his sister Deb, the closest person to him in the whole world, it was all too much for him. Dexter says he couldn't be Dexter Morgan anymore because he was cursed. He drove his boat into the hurricane. He wanted to die, but somehow, someway, he survived. He's happy for the first time in his life since Miami. All Angela can think of is every time she called him Jim, it was a lie. Dexter's issues are becoming Harrison's issue. Angela says Dexter is the one that needs therapy. Dexter asks Angela if she's breaking up with him. Relationships are based on trust, Jim. Dexter, whoever the fuck you are. Dexter asks if she's going to keep this a secret or keep his secret. She tells him to just go. Angela tells Molly the last thing she needs is for Molly to spook a suspect, so she doesn't want her to bother Kurt. Kurt gives a panhandler, Winnie, a couple $100. Her boyfriend says he got them a ride, and Winnie hugs Kurt, thanking him for the cash. Kurt hires Harrison just like that. Dexter looks into Molly and her Mary Fucking Kill podcast. He listens to the Bay Harbor Butcher episode. She mentions James Dokes. Dexter thinks Molly may be the one that told Angela about him. Dexter actually takes Harrison to therapy. Harrison talks about his stepmom Hannah dying of cancer. Dexter wishes things would have been different. Ghost Deb is sitting in between them. Dexter talks about his past. Logan talks to Angela about Kurt being there for him when his dad died in a car crash. Angela tells Logan they're going to be searching the caves tomorrow. Dexter wants Harrison to eat with him, but Harrison goes to eat in his room. Dexter didn't talk about stuff in therapy. Why would this be any different? Dexter invites Sergeant Logan out for a drink to get advice when it comes to Angela, since Logan's known Angela longer. Dexter is trying to figure out what Molly knows about himself. Harrison shows up in Audrey's room. She grabs the nunchucks at first, then she knows it's Harrison. He thinks she may want to talk. Harrison tells Audrey he thinks about hurting people like Ethan. This show totally had a spin-off in mind. Audrey's dad and Angela married, and Angela eventually adopted Audrey. She tells Harrison they're outsiders. Harrison and Audrey start making out, while Harrison has his straight razor in his back pocket. I think that was kind of weird. Wouldn't you put that in your front pocket? I don't know. That was just a weird scene. You thought Harrison was going to kill somebody with that whole scene, and then it never amounted to anything, or they never did what they wanted to do with the show. Angela catches Harrison in Audrey's bed. She tells Dexter to handle this. Dexter asks Ghost Deb for advice when it regards to Harrison. Ghost Deb says he's not ready to be a grandfather. That's sure the fuck for sure. Ghost Deb tells him to handle this Molly situation. Dexter goes to the tavern where Molly and Kurt are talking. Dexter tells the bartender he had found out that too much tuna is bad for you. Dexter sets up his phone to record by the bar to find out what Molly and Kurt are discussing. Kurt tells Molly he lied about being in New York. Lied about Matt being in New York. And Kurt tells Molly he's at his cabin. Kurt's taking Molly to his cabin. Dexter wonders what the hell is Kurt doing. Dexter says that his instincts aren't what they used to be. Too many fucking tuna sandwiches. Kurt is actually trying to get Molly into the room. He gets his victims in, and Dexter decides to intervene and join them. And Dexter goes into the room, notices the door locks from the outside, and a camera. Could Kurt be the killer that Angela is looking for? What is it with serial killers and bathtubs when he looks in the bathroom? Molly actually leaves with Dexter as Kurt kind of scared her and frightened her. Teddy and Angela are going into the caves. Teddy is the worst character on Dexter New Blood, and I might have to do top 10 worst characters in Dexter or Dexter New Blood. Molly tells Dexter that she thought she was about to be in an episode of her own podcast. Molly tells Dexter not to tell Angela. Mum's the word, Dexter says. Looks like he's the good guy to Molly. He thinks that Kurt is the serial killer that Angela is looking for. Dexter arrives at Harrison's wrestling match. Tess wants him to sit next to her because the best seats are all the way in back where you have the in the bleachers where you can kind of rest against the wall as for back support. Angela crossed through a tunnel in the cave. She finds another cave. It's big, and she's going to look around, she tells Teddy. She might have something, she yells. Teddy, get in here now. Kurt shows up for the Harrison's wrestling match as well, like he said he was going to. The opposing wrestler actually headbutts Harrison. Angela has found a body in the caves. Angela can tell that the dead body is Iris. Well, that was pretty fucking convenient to find Iris after all these years. Really? You didn't look in the caves before? Due to a bracelet that Iris had on, Harrison breaks the opposing wrestler's arm. Kurt says he's so proud of him. Harrison can't understand why Dexter has such a problem with Kurt Caldwell. Angela calls Dexter. She says she doesn't need Jim. She needs Dexter and Morgan. And that's what ends the episode. So, interesting episode. Interesting developments, especially after how we ended the last episode. Angela's already followed up on the Dexter Morgan stuff. I'm going to score this episode a 9.0 out of 10. And my female character of the episode is going to be Molly. My male character of the episode is going to be Kurt. I think that's pretty good, although some would argue Harrison for the males. This show just doesn't have enough good development. That's the problem with it. Of course, Angela could be the character of the episode as well, but I'm going to give it to Molly because Angela wins it too much. I mean, there's not very many good characters on this show. So you've heard what I have to say. Now, of course, it's your turn. I don't like the episode title, Too Many Tuna Sandwiches. That's just kind of a dumb title for a TV show episode, but I guess it's probably not the worst ever. If you're a fan of Dexter or Dexter New Blood and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure you smash that like button. Share this video with anybody that you know. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are. What would you score the episode, and who would be your male and female character of the episode? Anything else Dexter related you want to talk about, that's fine. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Join the team. Show your damn support and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.